Hey everyone, it's me Gamerturk, and yesterday we received the full first gameplay reveal from IGN for Sonic Frontiers. This is kind of a follow-up video that I did to yesterday's reveal teaser that I talked about, and from the get-go I will just say nothing has changed about my praises. However, my concerns have grown considerably larger. Probably not something to laugh about when it's Sonic that we're talking about. I really want another Unleashed, but that is besides the point. I want to feel that ambition, and once again with the full reveal I don't feel like I got that sense. Before I get into it, it feels like a slightly more polished fan game demo of an open world Sonic project from what we have seen in general. I have a whole lot of issues with certain animations, overabundance of especially rails, but also booster pads and jump pads, etc., those kinds of stuff. The world does feel a bit empty. I am not sure what to make of this, because chances are the overworld, the open world, may just be a transitioning area where you do stuff, and I am getting the feeling, based on what we have seen now with the entire open world situation, is that we may still have actual stages similar to boost formula. That's my impression, because I don't see what can be done with the open world. It doesn't look like it is shaped in a way that would support the stages in traditional terms that we come to expect of Sonic. But yeah, without further ado, let me just switch over to the thing and we will go through the entire gameplay reveal. I will stop things or loop certain portions whenever I want to, deep dive into a specific thing, and hopefully you will understand where my praises, where they are, or my criticisms are coming from. As I said, this entire full gameplay reveal has actually heightened my cautiousness levels a bit, so let's just get into it without further ado, shall we? Okay, so from the get-go, this is kind of they said this is the first island Sonic stumbles upon for one reason or another. We know absolutely nothing about the story so far, so can't comment on that, whether this island is our entire playground or not. Does look, from the portions we have seen, it does look a bit small to be our only playground, if you ask me. But I don't know, we see a whole lot of rails and shenanigans in the background that I feel is too much, too meaningless. You don't do anything, but those are just small things. Let's start the actual gameplay demo portion. So again, a lot of people have issues with pop-ins. I feel like those are things that can be solved. In the immediate vicinity, there is not much pop-in, but when you look towards the background where those rails are, you'll see a whole lot of... Okay, VLC, I actually do hate you when you do that. But yeah, when you look at the background with rails and stuff, suddenly things start popping in, and that does not look so good, especially when large geometries like that suddenly come into existence. It's never a... It doesn't feel polished when things like that happens. The nearby vicinity, I think it looks perfectly fine. A little bit more interactivity, and especially when you have the sounds on, when Sonic is running on grass, you don't get that interactive feeling. So adding a bit to that would be just cream on top. But generally speaking, I have no issues. We see Stomp is back, finally. I don't like the effects for it. It feels not impactful enough for whatever reason. I still prefer the Unleash Stomp. We have these purple coins, maybe something like Mario's purple coins. That is not exactly subtle. One of the things that I hate is this portion right here. This is actually a long-standing thing, but when you have rails, the fact that the rails completely ignore any kind of physics, like this is a thing in ever since Unleashed, I believe. Why am I not looping? I should be. But yeah, when it comes to rails are such a simple mechanic that takes away so much agency from you already. I feel like we can get that gravity factor in for, make this a boost management thing, or bring the rail shuffling thingy back from Sonic Heroes or Sonic Adventure 2. I don't know. Make it a bit more of an engaging experience, not endlessly grinding upwards, you know? One of the things I don't understand, why do we have this climbing animation? Especially as you can see now, we can just switch into a run immediately. It feels like an unnecessary design decision. A lot of things that I'll say in this gameplay demo will actually be tied to this. It feels like a whole lot of just chuck in everything you can and pretty much it. Like, what's the point of these rails? I have no idea. What's up here? No idea. Actually, this place looks like there's gonna be something in the final game, but yeah. Yeah, like the overabundance of rails. Why does this even exist? I already talked about my gripes with rail grinding animations. I do not like them. They don't feel smooth. Transitioning from rail to rail feels... What is this movement? I have absolutely no clue. You know, things like that. Switch over to this scene. Suddenly those platforms in the back are popping in. I have no idea what's going on with that. Maybe it's something specific to the demo build. Maybe they just keep loading things from the initial startup. That's why things are popping in. I don't know. I don't think it should exist. But yeah, we saw some... I don't want to say platforming sections. Those are really not platforming sections. But here we have like rails on the ground as well. If you're gonna literally put people's movement on rails, what's the point of an open world? You know what, like, why are there boost pads and rails everywhere? That's just the concerns I have. They just kept throwing them with this gameplay demo. There are some nice things, especially over here. We can see the animation is not smooth at all, something I have talked about yesterday as well. But, you know, aside from the very awkward transition into it, the wall run animation is back from Sonic Lost World, which is, I think, a great change. Like, Sonic shouldn't be running perfectly normally even on walls and stuff when moving towards a certain side. And these portions, like, it just showcases, further illustrates the problems I have with the animation. Like, the geometry is not perfectly smooth, and you can see Sonic constantly clipping between certain angles. I don't think... I am perfectly fine with it when fan games have it, you know, they have limited... Oh, I have more stuff to talk about here, let's not go over that far. When fan games have these issues with their geometry and Sonic's animation just clipping between certain slopes, but when you have a AAA game that is supposed to be polished, it just doesn't look good. Like, Sonic shouldn't be constantly clipping between slopes like that. It just looks bad. And again, what's the point of boost pads? But even more so, what's the point of tricks? Can anybody tell me what the tricks do in this instance? Why do they even exist? What is even happening here? No idea. Again, I do feel like some of these issues stem from the person playing it. Not to, you know, have a jab on the person or anything, but the way they're portraying things, it's more like they're trying to show the environment rather than play the actual game, which is part of the issue with the gameplay reveal they have showed. Nothing is happening at all. Like, the environment is open world with mysteries to solve. And this is one of the things I like. It's basic puzzling stuff, and that's the new ability. We have seen it used yesterday against an enemy as well. The demo itself has no enemies. Just weird choices all around. What was I saying? Yeah, the demo appears to be completely focused on just showing environments and showing certain movements rather than actually playing something. I think that is factoring into the relatively negative reception to to this gameplay demo. But when you have things like the seagull flying at the same speed as Sonic boosting, you know, that's not the issue of the gameplay being a demo with a specific intent. Of course, it's an addition they probably had to do, because otherwise you wouldn't even see the seagull. But at that point, maybe you should question whether you should really have a seagull do that at all. This is the portion we saw back in the yesterday's teaser. I think that's a really nice transition to a different environment, especially running through the woods. The seagull, I think we're better off without it. Oh, now it's just overtaken by seagulls. I like the water ripples when you're running through. It feels like a lot of effects are too subtle for the sense of speed you should be going at. You know, I like the screen blur, but I feel like the wind streaks could be more pronounced. That may be because of video compression as well. You know, this was uploaded onto YouTube, and YouTube do be like that. You won't see every single subtle yet impactful thing. But overall, I think the game needs a little bit more energy in the things it does. I am not going to go into combat because there is no combat whatsoever, and I genuinely do believe that's for the purposes of the demo and showing the environments and gimmicks like these as well. I think this is the final portion where they're showing a final puzzle. It's one of the most traditional puzzles you can ever think of. Yeah, I am not exactly sure what to think in general right now. My caution meter has definitely gone up. I have issues with animations, or rather animation transitions. Both the angle clipping I have mentioned earlier, as well as switching from one animation to another animation, as we have seen going up the wall and then turning into a wall run. It looked like there didn't exist a transition to begin with, so Sonic just glitched into the wall run animation. But the main concern is, why would you show something like this as your first impression? I think that's an issue. Like, yes, things are not complete. Yes, we don't know when the game is coming out. Yes, things may be fixed, but why stage such a bizarre first gameplay reveal that doesn't do any favors whatsoever? I'm gonna be brutally honest. This full gameplay reveal caused me a lot more concern than a sigh of relief. I was hoping some of my concerns from yesterday would be addressed and it wouldn't be as bad. That was not the case. None of the things I found really good or good have been elaborated on, whereas we have seen a whole lot more things to be concerned about, and overall it just feels like a AAA fan game demo, if that makes sense. It doesn't feel like an actual proper AAA game based on what we have seen. Like, even in this instance, I talked about water ripples being really nice. Whereas now, just watch Sonic walk over the puddle and absolutely nothing. Don't know what to think of it. It does not feel polished at all. People had issues with the music. I have no issues with the music. I don't think the overworld is supposed to be a sense of excitement. I don't think it is designed for that. It does not look like it's been designed that way. It's more of a chill place to explore and transition from one place to another. We don't know how large the world is. I'm gonna make a bold statement here and say I hope there is no fast travel. I think it would go against what Sonic should be. You know, we are supposed to be fast traveling to begin with. Probably gonna be a divisive opinion, but yeah. And this is the most platforming we have seen in the entire section. We have a lot of collectibles. We're gonna have to wait and see what they actually end up doing. But again, very minimal platforming, way too much reliance on boost pads, and very stupid rails, literally putting Sonic on the rails. And overall, I genuinely do believe we need a lot more polish. Like, we see enemies around here, it's just that the demo does not want to engage with any of them. They showed the quick step to dodge this enemy. A lot of people had issues with what am I gonna use the quick step for, based on what I've seen. Ark, I believe that was you. But again, for combat reasons and when we have actual stages, again, I do believe, based on what we have seen here, we're gonna have stages. Quick step is definitely gonna be a useful thing. The moment we turn here, we see the bubble enemy in the back that we have seen in the reveal teaser. Again, no idea why they didn't show any of the combat, but then again, I think about how this gameplay reveal impacted me, and maybe it was for the better. They didn't showcase any combat yet. Like, it's very clear the game just needs a whole lot more polish. I don't have significant issues with open world acting like an open world. If we're gonna have stages, that is. I hope we're gonna have stages, because this is not gonna cut it as a Sonic game. In my previous video, I made a huge deal about seemingly not being a platformer. I still very much stand by that statement. I would prefer a whole lot more Sonic Unleashed style game with even less platforming shticks and more about you know, testing your reactions. But then again, we're gonna need the less popping issues if that's gonna be the case. I still do believe Unleashed and Generations Modern daytime formulas have been the best we had in terms of Sonic. I don't think we should go back to Sonic Adventure. A mix of the best mix of platforming and speed, in my opinion, was the adventure games. I don't think we should be going back to that. I think Sonic should be embracing the speed, which we didn't get to see much of here. Even when boosting, Sonic feels quite slow if you ask me, and the seagulls just overtaking you does not help that feel. Whenever they come up, I just have to talk about them. But yeah, we'll see how this develops. We're gonna have a whole lot more news throughout the month, and I am approaching the rest of the month with a whole lot more caution at this point. Looking forward to seeing more. I really love the ripples. Just focus on the damn presentation properly, and animations. That's also presentation. Yeah, just fix the presentation. What is happening? No clue. Anyways, until the next one, stay cool.